Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to KerbSide Collections, the second show, KerbSide Pickups, where I sit opposite my brother from another mother, Mr. Blue Relic Hunter, Shane Hoffman. How are you, man?
What's going on, Adam?
You know,
The old Sunday routine.
the old Sunday, sitting here sweating. I've picked up a head cold off my son, and I'm feeling like trash, to be perfectly honest. So, yeah, sweating it out to the oldies here with, I don't know if I've got a fever or not, but I don't feel great. But we're here to entertain you folks. Maybe not entertain, maybe inform and educate. Hopefully, some entertainment comes in along the line. How you feeling?
I'd say if you've got a fever, you know what you need? More cowbell.
More cowbell. That's
That's
it.
what you need.
That's great. That's great.
Um, yeah, it's not too bad over here. We had a massive downpour over the past day,
Mm,
up to 30 mil. It's kind of jogged on now, but it might rain a little bit more later to Savo. But other than that, it's been freezing down here past week.
yeah. But yeah,
Um,
it's weird here, man. Like the days are actually quite have been quite warm, but the mornings and the nights are cold. I mean, Queensland cold. I'll say. Like I think I'm regarding myself as a native now because I think everyone knows, I grew up in Tassie and I know what cold is, but now I'm acclimatized and I get cold, man. I'm wearing trackies right now,
Absolutely.
and it's sunny as hell outside. Yeah. So I guess we'll kick off. What do we normally? This is where my brain's at. I can't even remember the order of how we do this show. So what do we're talking about what we've had arrive first, right? Aren't we?
I
Because
think
we've got
so.
just just
Yeah.
just before we get into that, I just want to say this is probably going to be a big show. I have lots of cool stuff to announce. There's lots of excellent things coming to Australia. I've also going to share a bit of news that I picked up on some releases that a lot of people are anticipating, and we're going to talk about our favorite transfers that we watched through the month. There's one in particular that sticks out in my head, but I've got a few to talk about here at the moment. And what else? We've got Arrow, Kino. I saw a lot of stuff from Kino being announced just overnight, which I'll have to add to the list. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Going to be a good one.
Oh, it's going to be huge. Like, there's plenty of labels that I got to talk about that didn't have anything, and it's
Mm,
almost like a bumper double for some of these.
yeah. Well, we've both got good sales stuff to talk about because we've got the JB bog off, buy one get one free sale is on as we record, and it's ending the day this episode drops. And you've had your VS halfway to Black Friday sale, so we'll get stuck into those a little bit later too. We'll probably
Oh
just
yeah.
mention them along the way with what we've picked up and what we've got coming. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be huge. Like,
Mm.
dead set. I reckon this could be one of our biggest episodes since we've started this little venture.
Yes, we've both been saving a little bit. I mean, I hadn't purchased anything for a good few weeks, and anticipating the bog off, and I think you've been doing the same, waiting for
I've been
VS.
waiting for Vinegar Syndrome to drop the
Mm.
hammer on their massive sale.
So, well, I'm going to let you go first then and tell us about what you've had arrive in the month of May. Any big stuff you want?
I haven't had heaps of arrivals. Obviously, like you just said, we've both been kind of pulling back, which is something totally alien for both of us. So yeah, I got the Dirty Harry box set, which was really cool. John Wick Titans of Colt box set.
Mm.
So I didn't get mine through JB. I'd already pre-ordered it
Yep.
through Outrun before JB even said they were putting it out, but still
Yep.
cool nonetheless. What Lies Beneath 4K, Legends
Mm.
of the Fall 4K, which I watched my Blu-ray last Friday, and I was like,
That's right.
I totally am getting that. I
Yeah.
like that way more than I thought I would.
I need to rewatch that. We spoke about that as you were watching it, didn't we? And
Yeah, so
I'm
I've put it aside for you if you don't
you're
already have it.
Yeah, you're a good man. You're a good man. I couldn't
Um,
find it in the JB site I was at actually because
I,
it is on their site for like $15, I think. But yeah,
yeah, I got that ages ago. That was like
yeah,
sitting on the floor next to the TV cabinet before we got our new shelves. And then, easily 9 months now.
yeah, right.
Showdown in Little Tokyo and the FX Double finally
Yes, it's
hit
a 101. Is it the
Australia.
101 release, isn't it? Is it 101?
No, that's Arrow.
Arrow. Oh, Arrow, of course.
Um,
101 was the first.
so the
Was the other
101's
one?
the one that I gave to you so you could enjoy it.
Yes.
They're
Uh,
pretty good transfers nonetheless on that release. I've watched them a couple times.
yeah, nice.
But that's about it for those arrivals.
Well, as is normal, I give my numbers. It's Sunday, the 25th of May. I just did the count and I've had like 77 new films, and I don't understand how I've got so many. I don't get it. I mean, a lot of those are from the bog off sale, admittedly, and and I'll talk about that a bit later, about what I've got. I'll get to that list, and you'll understand why this 77. Again, it's one of those things where it sounds a lot, but I haven't purchased 77 individual movies. Anyway, I also got the standard releases of the Clint Eastwood trio, which we'll talk about. I've only watched Dirty Harry at the moment out of those, but we'll definitely be talking about that a bit later in this film. In this film, holy shit,
Yeah,
in this
this
podcast,
is a
see,
movie, right?
I am sick. Holy shit. Also, the How to Train Your Dragons, those three come out in 4K, which was great. Quite a few others, quite a few op shopping purchases, which I picked up some DVDs. I know. I picked up Cheech and Chong's Corsican Brothers because I recently watched Up in Smoke when that came out, and I laughed my ass off at that. And so I want to get more Cheech and Chong's. Just on that, because I know they're going to be releasing more of those Cheech and Chong films in Australia on Blu-ray, because Up in Smoke actually has sold really well. It's been a bit of a hit. So we're definitely getting more of those. Don't know when though, but I know it's happening. The big one that I really want to talk about, because I went op shopping one day just by myself, because I've just recently had a month off work, just because I could and I wanted to relax. Did some op shopping around the Gold Coast, actually traveled out of my comfort zone and out of my postcode and went to some places. And I found I've kind of a holy grail of op shopping is I got Splash on Blu-ray, the unedited, uncut Disney Plus version, which these go for like $150 on eBay. I looked them up as I was there. I picked up quite a few good titles from there. And yeah, and anyway, a friend, Uncle Wayno, said you should put that on eBay straight away. I'm like, I think I'm going to keep it because I actually quite like the movie. Like I like the movie, so $150 isn't going to change my life. So keeping it until they release a 4K of it, and then it's worth 15 cents again.
But in saying that, what's to say it will be the uncut version that you've got on that release? Like
Mm.
it might. I
Well,
mean, they could totally croc Dundee that shit.
yeah, we'll talk about that later too, I reckon.
It's the encore cut of Splash.
We have spoken about Crocodile Dundee on our previous show because I
Yes.
picked up those DVDs, but yeah, maybe.
Anyone else from last episode?
No, we'll keep it civil. So yeah, as far as the bog off sale has gone, then why it seems like I've gotten a lot is that I picked up the Thai horror box set, and I twinned that with the Blaxploitation box set, which I'm really excited. So that Thai horror box has 8 movies in it, and I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones where I'd been waiting on, and I kind of researched a little bit all the movies, and they all read really good. They're all rated pretty well. So they're definitely interested to delve into some Thai horror, especially as I may as well announce it now. Yeah, worldwide exclusive, KerbSide Collections. I'm actually starting another podcast with a new friend, Mike from Beyond Horror. We're starting a horror podcast. That will launch later this year. We're just in the middle of recording a bank of shows, and that's going to be called the Super Fun Happy Horror Hour. It's going to be a bit of fun because Mike is an experienced horror watcher, and I'm relatively new to the genre, a relatively new lover. So, yeah, there's going to be some fun had there. It's not going to be just a standard. We're talking about a movie and what we think of it. It's actually going to be delving into the genre and the subgenres a little bit more, and just some other aspects that linger around the skirts of horror. So Mike is very much driving that, but it's a dual show. Also picked up 3 box sets, one still to arrive, of the Essential Noir film noir thrillers. So I'm a bit of a noir fan, and so that's why those numbers are up as high as they are. Also yesterday, after Arrow, we'll talk about that later too, Arrow announced that they're doing the 4Ks of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle films. I actually went and picked up the Stinker Vision set that Umbrella did from my JB yesterday, because I'm going to be happy with the Blu-ray of those. They're not movies I'm going to watch often, so I just picked up that set there. That's what I've had arrive. My throat's starting to hurt from talking so much.
I'm going to take the baton on that one and
Go for it.
give you a rest. Yeah, 77 titles. Like your Tower of Power, Epicus Maximus was very impressive. And yes, yet anything like Thai horror, Japanese horror, it's usually rated pretty well. And
Yeah,
anyone, usually the States, do a remake of it, it's never as good. It doesn't
never.
even nearly rate as good. So yeah, that
Definitely not.
box set's pretty awesome.
Mm,
And even those noir sets. Is there three of them?
it's five.
Five.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
actually
well,
I've picked up one, four, and five, and I can't find two and three anywhere. They're not in any JB stores. They're sold out in Vision side as well. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know, just be patient
eBay.
to get those. That's the thing. I start these box set things too late. I've come to the party too late, so I might miss out. But I'm happy with the three of them. I'm not gonna be fighting too hard. To won't be paying overs for the box sets if I ever find them. That's for sure.
And that's pretty cool about the horror
Mm,
podcast. That'll be like for you. That'll be like going down a horror rabbit hole.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mike's knowledge of horror is beyond extensive, so that should be unbelievably cool.
Yeah, yeah, I'm keen to get stuck into it at some point. Yeah, I don't know when, but my ever-growing watch pile is insane to be frank.
I don't think we ever get to fully watched because we're always adding.
I know,
So,
and
um,
it's silly. It's silliness when you think about it. Let's move on to what you've got on the way. So what have you ordered from VS?
well, this all started pre last show. So, May 1st is when the halfway to Black Friday sale flash sale started, where they dropped The Golden Child, Dirty Work, Jade, and Swimming in Cambodia. Those were the ones I grabbed. I will talk about everything that they've put out. So yeah, I grabbed those then, got up at what 3 o'clock in the morning, where I fell asleep on the couch, and then I just woke up again because that's what you do for these sales. Because some of those sold incredibly well, even like Dirty Work at the moment. That started at 10,000 units, and the deluxe edition's down to about 1,300, and the standard is down to near 1,000. And out of all the
Wow.
releases, I that wasn't one I expected to sell like that. Just
Yeah,
we didn't think the keep was going to sell out overnight either.
yeah.
Go. So yeah, after the sales started, jumped on there Friday at 2 o'clock when I was counting down the seconds. Got Breathless, which is 4K Cine Edition, The Dark Half, Let's Scare
Mm,
Jessica to Death, which also Imprint put out. But
mm.
I never picked that up.
No,
I've
me
never
either.
seen it, but I've heard it's quite good. Last of the Red Hot Lovers, which is another Cine Edition from
It's educational purposes.
few months ago. So I needed to get that because now the cinematography collection is complete, up to date
Mm.
for now. Also, some of the very highly discounted stuff, which I'll talk about more later. I got the lamp, Ice Cream Man, Don't Go in the Woods, and another one that I've never seen before called Death Promise, which is a bit of a late 70s B grade exploitation beat 'em up sort of revenge flick.
Yep.
So yeah, those last four, I cashed in 6,000 points to get four variant slip covers for them because they've been well out of print. And in all honesty, that Ice Cream Man is actually sold out in the VSMC point system. So
Oh, wow.
it was that popular, people were cashing in hard. So
Wow.
yeah, that's pretty much like all I got for that. And a little secret, Adam, old mate Shane here kind of did dabble in the bog off sale.
Oh, really? You've been
Yeah,
keeping that under your
I
hat?
thought I'd just keep it secret until we actually did this because I thought you'd be more excited and I could see that
Yeah.
you
When
are.
did this happen? Yesterday or something?
Yes, it did. I think
Was there bevies
yesterday.
involved?
Yesterday, no, no,
Oh, okay.
no, no. So yes, it was yesterday morning. I've only got two because
Hmm.
I thought, I participated. So I
Yeah.
picked up the Substance,
Oh,
and
good.
here we go. I know you're excited for this one, Honora.
Oh, good boy.
So I
Love it.
thought if I'm going to get something, I'm going to get
Oh,
two crackers, and one of them is just going to be legendary, even though I
probably
haven't
the
seen it yet.
probably the two best almost the films from 2024 that will be the longest lasting, I think. It's good choices. Great choices.
I mean, the only other one I did have in my cart was The Brutalist, but
Mm.
unfortunately, that was no longer available in
at your
Hobart.
local. Oh, really?
So I can still get it, but it would have to be sent to me. And
It'd
yeah,
be
I
worth
don't know.
twinning it. It'd be worth twinning it with another $40 one. And I mean, Philadelphia's out now too.
Well, that too. I mean, is that $40 as well?
Because
I'm
it's got Philadelphia comes with the Blu-ray. Yeah, it is $40. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
I'm pretty sure it comes with the Blu.
I have the Blu-ray as well, but
Yeah, I actually have that on the way. I had to, yeah, it's in the post, that one.
that's probably one I definitely want to get. I really like that movie, as sad as it is. It's just
Yeah,
absolute punch in the guts. So
it's it's been a long time since I've seen it. But yeah, well, that's good, man. I'm glad well, you know, I'm happy you've partaken in the bog off and you've picked up and you've done it wisely. You picked up some really good things. Picked up some really good things. For me, so what I actually also had, I never mentioned, I picked up The Young Ones on Blu-ray.
oh
Started
yeah,
watching that the
yep.
other night. That's kind of, I remember my brother watching that in the 80s, and it's very 80s. And I actually started, yeah, watched the first season of it. And honestly, the first 5 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, I regret this purchase so much. It's so bad. But then I kind of get, it really was the pilot episode, the opening stanza is so terrible, like acting bad. But as the series moves on, I'm learning that's what it's supposed to be. It's a pantomime show, and I didn't realize that as I was starting to watch it. So it is, and you get on its level, and it's actually quite funny, but it's also a bit up and down. But anyway, The Young One. So I've also so I got Philadelphia. Also picked up As Above, So Below. I've had my eye on that for quite a while. A Quiet Family, which is an Asian film, which I also had my eye on for a while. That's an umbrella release. I picked up Monkey Shines because again, I've had my eye on that for a while, but it's $40, and I'm like, that needs to be way cheaper for me to get it. And I suppose it's $20 when it comes to bog off, because I also doubled that with the Political Thrills pack that came out last year. All Interactive just they did 3 different packs of 3 movies. This one's the Political Thrills. This one's the Manchurian Candidate, Peacemaker, and Red Eye. Red Eye's
Oh, yeah.
incredibly underrated thriller. It's pretty great. Early Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams, so it's hard to go past. Yeah, I actually quite like Red Eye for its ludicrousness. That's all I've got ready coming. Hey, sorry, have we finished with you? Sorry, I've just kind of jumped in.
Oh no, that was all I had. Like,
All right.
I mean,
If I'd have shut up, that would have seemed like a really smooth transition.
no, I'd already finished. So you just
Okay,
took the baton and kept relaying, and off we went.
that's our shorthand language coming into play now. We're developing that. So everything else I have coming then is not. I think it's stuff I've spoken about on previous episodes, because a lot of that has been pre-ordered. But I walked out of Sinners. I think I've spoken about this, but I walked out of Sinners and pre-ordered the Steelbook that day. Sinners is a phenomenal film, and is going to be immensely rewatchable. I can't wait to see that movie again. Honestly, that's how much I really liked it. If I could be bothered, I should have gone back to the cinema, but I didn't. I'm happy to watch that at home. What else I have next that I haven't spoken about is probably I listened to a podcast, Joe Dante. Everyone knows about my love of Joe Dante, but he does a podcast called The Movies That Made Us, or The Movies That Made Me, and does it with his friend Josh Olson, who he's a screenwriter and director in that as well. But he basically they have guests on, for anyone who doesn't know, they have guests on every week, like people who make films, people who act, whatever. And they just give them a list of films, of movies that they grew up with, that they love, that made them get into the business. So on that show, they cross promote with a US website called Movies Unlimited. And it's a great website. So I ordered from them for the first time. And I actually picked up the James Bond collection, the 4K collection coming out from there, because even with the shipping and conversion rate, it still worked out cheaper than what it's being sold for in Australia. So I snaffled that. That's on its way. That comes that's released on the 10th of June in America. I'm assuming it's going to take a while before it gets to me, so I won't have it at that time. I'll probably have it at the same time everyone else gets it in Australia. But I also picked up the Bring It On 25th anniversary too, because I really actually Bring It On is actually quite a good film. It's one of those ones I watched obviously as a teenager when it came out, and maybe a little bit older than teenager looking at the year it came out. But yeah, no, I'm keen to see that again as well. So pick those up from Movies Unlimited. And the Fallout Season 1 Steelbook I also picked up as well. But that's it. That's all I haven't spoken about before that's coming. Everything else I'm still waiting on. Second Sight, Arrow's Dark City, and some stuff from Outrun too, the Kino releases. Oh, Sabrina, I didn't mention. Anyway, whatever.
I think you did mention that last time, because I
Yeah,
commented
possibly.
you were so excited about getting
Yeah,
it.
yep. Yeah, because it's great. And also we're getting Sunset Boulevard too, which I'm also really excited about. To see that in 4K will be amazing. There's two others I probably should mention because I did a Rare Waves order, one of my bulk Rare Waves a while back because I had no Pain 4s. But I picked up a Real Pain, which is last year's film from Kieran Culkin won the Oscar for. I really like that. It's a really good film. And Purple Rain, but that's a Blu-ray, but it's only the album in Blu-ray, so they're actually remastered into Dolby Atmos. That's Prince's, obviously Prince, Purple Rain. They did a release a couple of years ago with Diamonds and Pearls. It's called an audiophile edition.
Mm.
And if you have Atmos, which I do, they sound phenomenal. Like Diamonds and Pearls in Atmos is just incredible just to step back and just let that wash over you. So keen to listen to a bit of Darling Nikki in Atmos. That'll be great. Bring it on. I think I can probably wrap it up with what I've got coming. What do we talk about next? What's on the way, right?
Probably jump straight into the labels, I reckon.
Yeah, before we do though, because we normally talk about our best transfers, but there's also some other news, just general news that I wanted to mention because the Sean Connery 6-film collection are all new HDR masters. I'm actually pulling this information from another website called I think this is from the Digital Bits or Media Play News, one of those two. So they're all new HDR masters derived from brand new 4K scans of the original camera negatives. So brand new 4K scans. The Atmos mixes are new as well, and not merely up mixes of the old 5.1 tracks. So these films should look really good and sound fantastic. Now onto the Jurassic Park Steelbook re-release has been what I am seeing as controversy because people aren't maintaining the faith, because Jurassic Park trilogy has been released on 4K before, but there's no HDR in those. So basically what's happening is that they're saying the news isn't as positive with Jurassic Park trilogy. Jurassic World was already HDR and whatnot, but the Dolby Vision presentations of Jurassic Park trilogy are simply upgrades of the existing 4K masters already released. So they have new color grades, and some people are like, well, what's the point in rebuying it? My thought process is that they're still 4K scans, but they were never color graded. They were never recolor graded.
Yeah.
I don't think you need a new 4K scan to add the Dolby Vision if they're just getting the color treatment. I still think they're going to be pretty epic transfers. They're going to be much improved on what we have with the 4K. So I'm actually really keen to grab those. Yeah, and I'll also have some news about that a little bit later when we talk about what's coming to the country, because I'll have some big announcements to come there actually before we a bit later in the show after we go through our labels. I'll talk about what's coming to Australia as well. So for me, the Jurassic Park upgrades are going to be a no-brainer for films that I'm going to watch over and over. I don't think they need to be rescanned into 4K if it's already been done. It's just a matter of working on those existing ones and recoloring them to make them stand out and look bright and beautiful. So I am not buying into people's controversy about these not being worth upgrading. I think they will be. Yeah, and also some really positive news that I read is that Sony actually had a 7% increase on their physical media sales over the previous year. That's great news for all of us collectors, because if people are buying more, if they're ticking up, then we're going to get more. Yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to say. I think that was pretty positive news and probably worth sharing. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I'm big on the color of things for 4K releases. You know, you don't want to see something that looks dull. You know, if they're putting in all this effort to make this the best it's ever looked,
yeah,
color grading it's a huge thing. So
yeah,
I think all of the under the rock naysayers can just go back onto their rocks and naysay amongst each other.
Well, just wait and see. I would say, but I think just the selling point is that people are expecting new scans, whereas because most movies are, it's the big selling point is that it's a new scan from the original camera negative, blah blah blah. Yep. The fact they haven't done that with Jurassic Park isn't it's not a negative, because it doesn't, pardon the pun, but it doesn't need to happen. Like they don't need to rescan those. That's all I'm trying to say, because they have the scans. They're already scanned in 4K. They don't need to rescan them, because they'd just be wasting time and money, which would drive up the cost for us. So, yeah. Before we get into the labels, though, we do want to speak about the best transfers we've seen, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you got any, what's on your, I actually have 5 on my list, but I'll talk about them briefly. So I haven't
really watched a lot, to be honest, this past
Okay.
week. Yeah, watched just been going through movies that were in the unwatched piles from way, way, way ago, in
Hmm.
cabinets, in a cupboard, because there's movies everywhere here.
Yeah.
And then I just forgot I had some of these. So pretty much the only one I've watched recently is the Dirty Harry one on Friday,
Mm,
which you
mm,
watched earlier in the week
mm.
and were over the moon about. And honestly,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
that transfer is phenomenal. Wow.
I think honestly, I think it's the best transfer I'd ever seen in 4K. I have since learnt that those three films are actually 8K scans. So
Wow.
Warner starting to do 8K scans of their films now, and that's probably why it looks so impressive. Not that we're seeing it obviously in 8K, but it just brings out that detail and definition and the color grading. It's Dirty Harry is up until yesterday probably the best transfer I've ever seen of a 4K. It's probably equal. I watched 2001: A Space Odyssey yesterday for the first time in a
Yep.
long time, and
Mm,
the transfer on that is insane. It is
mm.
also insanely great. I'm sure a lot of people listening have watched the 2001 in 4K and probably agree. A couple have actually reached out and said, "Yeah, it does look epic, and it really does look insanely good." The other ones I need to mention quickly that I just couldn't let go. I did check out the Criterion 4K of Risky Business. Looks really good, quite impressive. I'm really happy with that. This one goes without saying, it's a bit of a no-brainer. Everyone already knows this, but Blade Runner 2049 is just mint. Thank you, Roger Deakins. The Atmos on that is also incredible, which needs to be mentioned. But one, as I was on holidays, I wanted to delve into my Giallo films, and I didn't get to watch as many as I wanted to because I don't know. But I did watch Blood and Black Lace from the 60s. I think it's a Mario Bava film. My head, oh, it might be a Fulci film. Either way, Blood and Black Lace, cool film, cool as hell film. But because there's a lot of red in it and it just pops. It's a beautiful transfer. It's a beautiful film for something that's made in the 60s. It's just insanely bright and colorful. So I had to mention that. And if you were on the fence about picking up some of those Arrow Giallo films, absolutely do it because they look amazing. Pardon me. Before we get into your labels, Shane, I know you're going to do it
Yep.
first, but I've picked up a bit of a trend because as most of us might have noticed recently, Terminator is getting a standard release
Yep.
on 4K, $26 after everyone's paid 55 for the steelbook. Just be wary that the trend seems to be that especially with those Warner release steelbooks, that about 12 months later down the track, there or thereabouts, we're going to get a standard. Lethal Weapon is coming up as a steelbook only. If you don't
Mm,
want the steelbook, don't want to pay the overs, and want to wait for a standard, I would say we'll get that in about 12 months as well. As what I was mentioning, and I'll talk about this a bit more later on, just on that note, that the Jurassic Park trilogy coming out in steelbook everywhere globally with the new upgrades. There's also standard releases of those coming in October or November. So they'll be individually released,
mm.
each three films. The steelbook is all three films in the one steelbook. They'll be getting the individual 4K releases later in the year.
I
So
reckon price-wise, that's pretty decent. Was it
I do too.
$130
I do
for
too. I
that?
think it's really great.
Considering they could, charge in between $40 to $60 each for a steelbook.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't believe we'll be getting the Blu-rays with them because they just re-released the Blu-rays a couple of months ago. There was an Ultimate Trilogy pack that came out and whatnot. So they'll just be the 4Ks. But yeah, like you said, there could be 35 to $40 for those. So depends. I would really like the Steelbook. I'm not 100% whether I'll get it or not at the moment, but I would love to, but we'll see how the money's sitting when it is released. I think that's about all I want to talk about at the moment. Hopefully that's been insightful and educational, and we'll move on to what's coming. What have you got?
What what is coming? Well,
There's a lot. There's some big lists here, isn't there?
my first two are pretty large.
Mm.
So I'll start where I always start because I like it. It's my fave. Let's just jump straight into Vinegar Syndrome. So currently, halfway to Black Friday sale is on. It is happening until I think 2 p.m. for us tomorrow.
Okay. So it'll be by the time this show drops, it's gone.
Possibly, yes. So pretty much it was running from the 24th to 26th. It's like
Hmm.
3 days. So basically, it started for us in Australia at 2 p.m. on Friday, just gone, where they were releasing the rest of their slate for
Yep.
this. So basically, as already mentioned, The Golden Child 4K, that's the brand new VSU title, which I'm super pumped for that one. I think that's going to
Yeah,
look
nice.
absolutely off its tree. Dirty Work, already mentioned that. That's coming with the dirty cut. Like this was released in two different films really, and one was like a PG friendly version. And this version it has both. So I think that's why that's selling so well, because that uncut version hasn't really been available. And I think really if that sells out super quick, they'll just re-release standard editions like they did with the Keep anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be silly
So
not to.
so that one, Jade, which I'm pretty excited about, that's got the full VHS uncut version on it, which is really cool. The Dark Half, Let's Scare Jessica to Death, a trilogy called Iron Angels 1 to 3, directed by Teresa Wu.
Okay.
Now, you know I don't like Asian cinema, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I was actually locking that one in. It just sounded really cool. It sounded like some crazy action and just bombastic stuff. So
So have you
that's
not seen the police story movies, the Jackie
no,
Chan movies and that? Oh man,
I
you'd
haven't
like them.
seen any of them at all. No,
Yeah, right.
no police story, no crime story, no,
Police Story's great.
none of it.
Even Project A. Project A's great as well.
So I guess I am missing out. I guess one day I might dabble.
Yeah, one day when we meet up, I'll sit you down Clockwork Orange style and make you watch some Jackie Chan, or actually just some Bong Joon-ho or Park Chan-wook or something, because you'd like it. You'd like it.
I'm sure I would. Like, it's
Mm.
just not. I need to really be in the mood if something is in like subtitles, because
Same.
like
That's why I have so many watch still.
that's it. I mean, I've still got like a couple umbrella ones. I think I Saw the Devil.
Yeah,
I've
that's
seen
good.
that before, but I
Right.
haven't rewatched it simply because it's got subs and I just need to be in the
Yeah.
mood to
Yeah,
watch
yeah, yeah.
that. So,
Yeah, I hear you.
so that one as well, they've even said on the site, if that sells out, there's no guarantee they're actually going to redo it in a standard. So this comes in
Mm,
a hard slip and a 40-page book as well. So if you're
okay.
keen for that, definitely grab it because it might not be reissued. Another one called Charlie One Eye. I already mentioned Breathless, which this is pretty cool to come out in 4K because this was actually released on a different partner label. I can't remember which one it was, but it sold out super quick in the slip, and I don't think you can even get it in the standard anymore.
Uh,
So that's pretty cool. Swimming to Cambodia, which is like a sort of a doco film for the killing fields.
Oh,
The
yes.
lead guy in that, he's pretty much centered around him, his experience in the film and all that. And another one called Criminally Insane 2, which they also have, they did Criminally Insane. It's about a massively obese woman who is a nutcase.
Okay.
She goes on a bit of a spree of killing, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. So
Right.
I haven't picked up the other one. It didn't really interest me, but for them to put out number two is pretty cool. They've also done some VS variant slip editions for Showgirls, which that you were saying the last
Yes.
Showgirl, which
Oh
might,
no, it's
might have been.
Showgirls.
So
Yeah.
so Showgirls, From Beyond, and the Amityville Horror. So
Yeah.
it's all brand new artwork for the slips. Obviously Showgirls was the VSU and the hard box. From Beyond, that sold out ridiculously fast in all formats. And the Amityville Horror, that sold out really quick too. So if you want new slips on those, definitely worth picking up. The Digorza VHS releases, there's a couple. So they're doing Criminally Insane and Criminally Insane 2, and also Satan's Black Wedding. So they only usually do, I think, about 100 of each of them, and they usually
Okay.
sell quite well. So that's some of the new stuff they've brought out for this big halfway to Black Friday sale. Discounts wise, it's 50%, 60%, 70%
Wow.
on all the VS catalog pre 24 and pre 24 Black Friday as well.
Is Congo on there still then? Could
It
I get
is not.
Congo?
It
Isn't
is
it?
not. I already looked.
I'm not going
I,
on there then. Bugger
I
'em.
was thinking of you, Adam. I was.
Yeah, thank you.
So basically, yeah, all their titles, and they've got them in categories. So in the
Yeah.
50%, 60, and 70 for the VS titles and the partner labels.
Right.
There are tons of titles heavily discounted. If you are a scavenger and you want to look through everything,
Yeah.
you will find titles that are actually 75% off.
God damn you, man. You're gonna make me spend money. No, you
I
are.
I did actually see one. I can't remember what it was because I was frantically scrolling trying to lock in titles myself. But yes, you can actually get those. So that's super cool. Like some of these partner label titles, you can get them for about $16, which is, and some of them have slips as well. So that's pretty cool.
Is this jaded and faded sale? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So there is like there's heaps of like points, things you can get as well, the variant slips that have gone out of print. You know, if you've been on VS for a while and you've racked up shitloads of points, you could get a super cool skate deck for like 8,000 points. You know, they got a VS hat for 1,500 points. Yeah, it's this sale is huge.
Yeah, it
So,
is. And this is in US dollars, isn't it? That's on their website,
um,
obviously.
no, that should be Oz dollars.
Really? How do
Yep.
I?
So,
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to
oh,
look at this after we record. God damn it. Amityville's $22, $23.
so basically, if you've already got your order from the flash sale, you've already activated your order stacking. So anything you add is just free. So
Yeah, right.
there's no,
Shipping, you mean?
yeah, no more shipping after that. Even if you were starting it now, like say you started your order, you've paid your $31 shipping, then you start adding stuff after that, you
Yeah.
won't pay any more shipping. So,
Hmm.
and that it's quick shipping too. Like they use DHL most of the time or FedEx. From the time they ship it, it's usually within about 7 to 9 days down here in Hobart. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
That's
pretty
pretty good.
fast. Like you're not just
Yeah.
paying that amount and you waiting 4 weeks. Like it's quick. So yeah, this is a pretty big deal. If this is anything to go by from what they've dropped, the Black Friday sale is going to be insanely huge. Like it's going to
Yeah,
be tough to top this.
kind of keen to shop it, to be honest. I better not do it now while we're trying to talk, but here we are.
Yeah,
Okay. Uh,
vinegar. That's what's going down.
Vinegar sounds epic. Over to Arrow. Arrow, lots of sneak previews and announcements from them. But since we last recorded, we have the Sylvester Stallone Cobra, which I'm not sure if I ordered that yet or not. I guess I haven't. Zombie Flesh Eaters, which is something I definitely want to order. The lead show again, Jarlo film. Crumb Catcher sounds interesting. Narc, which is something you've raved about a little bit. The Night Watch collection and The Stuff. The Stuff looks interesting. It's actually kind of a recent release film, but it looks weird. They also did a bit of a teaser on socials, and someone's gone through all the little clips that they showed in this teaser and have come up with the list of what Arrow are coming or are releasing soon. And one of those is Thief, which I've already raved about in this show enough. Mona Lisa, which is the Bob Hoskins film from '86. To Live and Die in LA, which has a Kino release, which is a great film. So good. Creepshow 2, which I have a Blu-ray of. Nightbreed, I don't know much about. Rawhead Rex, which seems to be a bit of a cult film. I'd never
Yeah.
actually heard of that before this. The Apartment, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. I actually have the Kino 4K of that. It's a Billy Wilder film with Jack Lemmon. The Visitor, I'm not sure what that one is, to be honest, and a film called The Sadness, which is also something I am not aware of. But they haven't been officially, like there's no dates on them, but that's what Arrow are working on at the moment. They have also teased Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who's getting 4K. I don't know whether it's all three or just the first one at the moment, but Turtles is getting 4K. Poseidon, which is something you turned me on to.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very keen for that.
Yeah, is that the 1960s version, or is that one, or is it
No,
something
it's
else?
the remake from '06,
Oh, okay, gotcha. I don't know if I've ever seen that then.
which
Um,
doesn't really have much physical media
yeah. Uh,
anywhere for it. It's
who's in that? Because I may have seen that, to be perfectly honest. I
off
just
the
may have.
top of
Oh,
my head, I'm feeling
Richard Dreyfuss, Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
It's a Wolfgang Peterson film. Oh, there you go then. Wolfgang Peterson.
it was a great
Weird.
film. It's
Emmy
very,
Rossum.
very big,
Yeah.
bold.
Yeah. Kurt Russell and, I'd be keen to see Kurt and Dickie. Okay. And also, they're also doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remakes. So they've got the Texas Chainsaw, the beginning, and just the original remake. I think that's the Matthew McConaughey, Jessica Biel one that they're also
Uh,
doing.
McConaughey was before that.
Oh,
He
okay.
is in that remake, and that
Right.
one is just top notch. That's
Yeah, I've heard
a
it's good.
wicked remake.
Yeah. I've heard it's good. That's all I've got for Arrow. There's some exciting stuff in there.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I
Yeah.
think Arrow leading up until now, until the end of the year, it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah,
Some of their
definitely.
releases. And I'm pretty keen for that Thief if that comes out in a hard box.
Absolutely. Yes,
So
you should be.
that, and like I did say last episode, I would totally get To Live and Die in LA again if it was in a hard box.
If it's what's the word? If it's like a new master.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to say, what if it will be or not, Usually if they're chopping and changing between themselves, yeah, it might not be.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. What's your next one? Oh, okay, over to your next label, which is I can't remember. I never remember.
Well, I'm going to go Scream Factory Shout because last time we were on the cusp of
Yes.
them dropping something.
Dropping.
Since then, they've also dropped some other stuff, and going on their website, and I had another look and just picked out a few other things. It's probably the most recent thing that they dropped the other day was a Mario Bava
Oh
collection,
yes.
massive
Yes.
box set.
Yeah.
12 disc Blu-ray set. That's a no-brainer. If you're a fan of his work, that's an absolute
I'm
big one to
gonna
get.
I'm gonna actually look up. I actually own a few Mario Bar. Oh, I've got Lamberto Bava. Is it Lamberto or Mario Bava? Is it Bava or Brava?
Bava, Bava.
Yeah, okay. I've only got Lamberto. I don't have Mario.
Well, we will get to Lamberto later in the show. So yeah, I've only seen like one film of his, and I think it was Black Sunday.
That's the film I do have Bava. I've got Blood and Black Lace, which is the Bava film, which I already spoke about, and I also own
Yep.
Black Sunday in one of the Giallo packs, I think. Yeah. I just spelled his name wrong. That's why it wasn't in my spreadsheet.
So there's that one. There's City Hunter Angel Dust, which is an anime. Wolf Children, which I think that's an anime as well. Obviously Ace Ventura, which I'm
Yeah.
super psyched
Steelbook
about.
looks good. The Steelbook looks real good actually.
So yes, that is pretty cool artwork for that. For the steel, the Jet Li collection, that's a pretty
Mm.
decent box set if you're a fan of Jet Li's older works.
Just also
Uh,
on that, it's going to be likely we get those in Australia. Yeah,
which will be
just
cool.
just between us, I'm pretty sure we'll get that.
I mean, it's probably not one that I'd jump on. You know, I've never
No,
been.
I'm not a Jet Li
I'm not
fan.
a massive fan of Jet Li. I mean, I
No.
like his other works, not
Mm.
pre-American stuff, but yeah, Fade to Black, which VS put out, but this is a 4K edition of it. So that's pretty cool. I reckon that will look pretty schmick. This one, so these are the ones that kind of dropped after our last show. One called Strangers with Candy, Battle Beyond the Stars. They're also doing the Wallace and Gromit collection.
Yeah, yeah.
So that should be pretty cool. Abigail, Grave of the Fireflies, which comes in a steelbook
Oh, mate,
and a standard.
that's
And
a great film. That's a great film.
I was excited to mention that because it's a Ghibli title.
It is, yeah.
So I knew
You,
you'd be excited.
you would enjoy it, man. It's a World War II film. It's absolutely heartbreaking. It's fucking amazing.
So definitely, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a Studio Ghibli film, ever.
Oh, bro, there's another one. I need to just strap you down and watch them. They're just so beautiful. There's such a vibe to all of those films, man. It's just amazing.
Obviously, Alexander revisited the final cut, which we were
Uh,
chatting
we spoke
about
about that, didn't we? Yeah,
the
yeah.
other night. And when I was trying to find like a time for it, I think it's 213 minutes. So
Yeah, yeah. It's a long motherfucker.
it,
Yeah,
it's
that's
quite long.
That's
Um,
like back to the days of Ben-Hur and whatnot.
Spartacus.
Cleopatra. Yeah.
And lastly, primary colors, which at the
Oh
time
yeah.
hadn't been officially announced.
That's a
So
John Travolta film, right? And Dustin Hoffman.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh, I think I have seen that, but probably not since it actually came out. But yeah, that's pretty big bumper for the Scream Factory and
Yeah,
Sheriff.
man. We're getting spoiled. Like honestly, physical media is just it's 2025 has been a massive year, man. And if they only ramp up, I don't know what 26 is going to be like.
I'm gonna need 5 jobs just to get.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. Oh, dude. Anyway, on to Criterion. Now, this month's announcement for Criterion didn't really do much for me, but we'll go through them because they seem to have gone back to their roots and doing a lot of world films, important world films. And film I'd never heard of any of these, which I'm about to read out, but you may have, and you may want to get them. So I'm not. I'm just going to say the titles of the films. So there's Compensation, Saving Face, Vermilio, Shoe Shine, A Confusion, and Mahjong, which is a two-pack. Fires in the on the Plane, The Burmese Harp, and Cairo Station. So they're all movies from across the globe. So not. They are literally like world movies. They're not movies that I don't know, probably 98% of us are aware of. But, if you're into that, that's great. I love that Criterion do that anyway. Like it's great to put those movies out into the world. I'm not ruling out that I'll never see these one day, but they're not things I'm going to clamber over to go and pre-order. That's for sure. But the other big, it hasn't been announced yet, but Wes Anderson had an interview recently because he's got a new film called The Phoenician Scheme. He dropped a little hint that Criterion are actually working on a box set of his first 10 films. Yeah, which explains an episode or two ago, I spoke about all the Wes Anderson Criterions I picked up because they were cheap and on sale. And it made so much sense that they were all of a sudden on sale from 50 to $60 down to the low 30 range. So I picked them up. And it makes sense for them to now announce a box set is coming. So yeah, that's cool. Good for them. I'm not sure whether they're 4K or Blu-rays, but they're doing a box set. So yeah, that's good. Good news for Wes Anderson fans, which I am one. So yeah, that's Criterion.
Well,
Any
I did
comments?
see the Phoenician Scheme just this morning. It just popped up
Yeah.
on when I was scrolling through some things on my phone, and that's got Benicio in it, doesn't it?
It has everyone in it.
Everyone.
Do you want me to? I'll go in. I'll tell you the list because I'm in IMDb, and this is because Wes Anderson always gets a big cast, and they are promoting the hell out of it. There's a bit of money in the budget for advertising, but here's the cast for Phoenician Scheme. We've got Benicio del Toro,
Yeah.
Michael Cera, who's supposed to be amazing in this. Steve Park, who you would recognize from Fargo. He's
Yeah.
yep. We have Willem Dafoe, F. Murray Abraham, Rupert Friend. I know Tom Hanks is in here somewhere. I'm just on the front page. They're not listing. I'm going into the bigger list. Rupert Friend,
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Riz Ahmed. I'm not sure if you've seen The Sound of Metal. Have you seen The Sound of Metal?
No, I haven't, but I know
Dude,
him.
you should
He's
check out The Sound of Metal. It's on Prime. It's a Prime original. It's about a drummer who's going deaf. It's a fantastic film. You would really like it. So yeah, Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Charlotte Gainsbourg, and quite a few Nepo names in there too, actually, with Antonio Desplat, who I would imagine is Alexander's relation of some kind. Alexander does all the scores for Wes Anderson films. Richard Ayoade, who you would know from the IT Crowd mostly, and The Watch, that old Ben Stiller movie. Jeffrey Wright is always in Wes Anderson films. Scarlett Johansson, Bill Murray, Hope Davis,
wow.
Benedict Cumberbatch. So that's the name cast. There's obviously a big cast, but that's a Wes Anderson film. He's always got a cast of characters. I've known people who've seen it and they say it's pretty good. It's a maybe a middling Wes Anderson film, but yeah, it's something I'll definitely be watching anyway. Anyway, that's all I have for Criterion.
All right. We'll go to Eureka next because I don't think
Yeah,
they
they
had
didn't do a
much.
lot, did they?
Well, there's not much this time either, but they're putting out Trouble Every Day, which is coming out in a standard and it looks like a bit of a hard box release for that one.
Hmm.
Another one called Martial Law and Finis Terrae. So yeah, Eureka, always bringing the weird and wonderful obscure stuff
There's
to
quite a few labels that do that actually, but yeah, it's quite a few.
yeah, that's all we've got to talk about for Eureka. Well, honestly, the last few months or drops have just been I don't know, nothing really I would pick up. It's just a lot more obscure stuff from them.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all good. I'm sure some people will be interested in some of those titles. On to me, Kino Lorber. Now, Kino, and I've mentioned this before, have all of a sudden taken off what they've got coming soon on their website. So I've had to do hard research for this to pick up what's been announced or rumored. So a lot of these are rumored and announced, but and a few just dropped this morning actually. So they're actually doing Xanadu is
Yep.
getting a 4K release. I've never, I might have seen parts of Xanadu, but my parents would have watched it when I was young, but I don't know anything about it. But it was a bit of a hit back in the day, Olivia Newton-John. Next, they're doing Coneheads, Dan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin film. I watched that in the last couple of years because I remember watching it in the 90s and going, it's, thinking it was okay, but fuck, it's a bad movie. It's a terrible movie. It really is. Kino are also doing Happy Gilmore in 4K, which most people know about, but that's got a release date now of August. So that's mid-August for that. They're doing Undisputed, which is Wesley Snipes and Ving Rhames' film from 2002. That's coming also end of August. The Two Jakes, which I have the Blu-ray, I think it's an Arrow Blu-ray or a 101 of The Two Jakes, which is actually a sequel to Chinatown. Didn't realize that until I watched it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not Chinatown, but it's not bad. It's the same. Jack Nicholson's playing Giddies, Jack Giddies again. Is it Jack Giddies, John Giddies? But he's the detective. Yeah, so that's coming also at the end of August, and a movie called The Lords of Discipline, which I don't know if I've ever heard of. It looks like
No. I saw that
Sean
this morning
Astin.
and I was like, I've never heard of that, but it sounds intriguing.
It almost kind of reads like a bit of A Few Good Men light, A Few Good Men light, it kind of seems like. And we're also getting the classic Leslie Nielsen Repossessed, which is the spoof on this horror spoof on The Exorcist and stuff. And I'll watch Leslie. I love Leslie Nielsen films. I love that era of his films. So yeah, there's a few more, sorry, from Kino. They're also doing Curdled, a movie called Curdled, which is only from
Yep.
last year, I think. They're doing Nacho Libre, who's getting a 4K. Death Wish 3, the Ninja Trilogy, which doesn't interest me. Little Buddha, which I've seen. They're doing the K2, which is the Michael Biehn film from the 90s. And also, I think we spoke about this on this episode. I've spoken about it to someone, but Billy Zane in The Phantom.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yep.
atrocious 90s comic book movie that was
Mm.
filmed in Queensland, I believe. But yeah, that's getting a 4K. It's good to see they get a re-release. It's probably something I would pick up, to be honest, just to check out. Check it out. That's all I've got for Kino. What are we over to for you?
Well, next we've got a Cape Light. Only a couple new ones there. They're doing a 12 Angry Men 4K media book.
Everyone's done 12 Angry Men.
Yeah, everyone's had a crack.
Yeah, yeah.
They're also doing Maxine 4K in the media book as well. There's three different covers, so A, B, and C, which you can actually get that all in a bundle as well if you're hardcore on that film. I've never seen it. In all truth, I've never seen X, I've never seen Pearl, and I've never seen Maxine. So not
Okay.
seen any of them.
I'll recommend them. Definitely. X took me a couple of watches to enjoy it. Pearl is excellent. Pearl is really good, and Maxine is just a whole different vibe altogether compared to the other parts of the trilogy. But I really like them all. So who's doing that? Cape Light are doing all of those. I said they did them. So they're getting like 4K steelbooks. I was busy browsing Vinegar while you were talking.
No,
So
they're
rude.
they're going to be media books.
Okay,
So
right.
media books are pretty cool. I mean, you get all that extra art with it if you're into that, pictures, info. But unfortunately, being overseas released like that, it may not be in English.
Okay.
That's the only problem. They're also doing Mississippi Burning 4K.
Ah, yes.
I think that is in a media book. It is coming out in a Blu-ray release as well. That film's been kicking around in Euro places for a bit. I have seen it. It's been pretty expensive, but would be good to get. I haven't seen that since the 90s, I reckon.
Right.
Pretty intense film. But yeah, that's all we've got for the Cape Light.
Cool. Sounds good though. Yeah. I kind of regret buying those other ones on Blu-ray, to be honest, but it's all right. Should be right. Umbrella. They've only we've spoken about everything. There was only three announcements that I think are worth. I think there was only three announcements, full stop. But they're doing Black Sheep, the New Zealand film, which I kind of
Mm-hmm.
remember. Cypher, and the one that interests me the most is called The Agitator. Looks interesting to me. So that's literally all I have from Umbrella. I'm not sure if you have any comments on any of that.
I mean, I have seen Black Sheep.
Yep.
It's funny. It's quite good.
Yeah.
I probably would only get like the standard edition for that. I'm sure it would look great. I mean, if you're hardcore on that film and you want the woolly sheep slipcover, the pretty good edition, like when they did what a Sasquatch Sunset,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they did that the woolly, yeah, kind of following on with that. It seems like they're having a bit of like themes, like with their bundles, like they're
Yeah.
really since this hardware release, like you've got
Mm,
Salute of the Jugger with the shirt, you've got Black
yep.
Sheep. It's got the shirt. Maybe they're just picking up that people are digging those sorts of things more so than just some art cards.
You will, yeah, there will definitely have been a trial. I know a lot of these
Hmm.
releases we get a trial releases, and if they sell, they do more of them, which is logical, right? So
Yeah.
that's yeah. But they also might have found a t-shirt manufacturer or a printing company that is like, do a deal with you. So yeah, it's probably that as well.
Well, dead set. I mean, you can't really see it very well, but this
Yeah,
print is it's pretty good. Like I
good,
haven't
good.
ordered Jugger yet.
Mm.
It's on my to order list. I'll get there. But yeah, I'm pretty keen for that. Yeah, Agitator. That's like a new full cut of it, isn't it? It's like it's quite long. But I'm sure I read somewhere that was like a full cut of that.
Yeah, with two cuts of the film, including the extended 3 hour version. So it's from Takashi Miike, who did Audition. If you've seen Audition, Audition is spooky shit. Like it's a really cool movie, really unnerving at the end. Which is the reason I kind of am interested in it because of me. Yeah, but yeah, 3 hour cut. That's
Mm.
should be fun. I don't know much about what the film is about, but that's probably enough to sell it to me, to be honest. To get
And I
he
read,
okay, he's a disillusioned gang enforcer, one of those tropes, but
oh,
you know.
it's a no-brainer. It's going to be ultra violent and great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully. Okay, what do you got up next?
Well, next we've got some more weirdness, and I just love a good amount of weirdness from Radiance. I've only heard of one of these, not that I've seen it, but the Inquisitor and Deadly Circuit. So that's in one lot. Shinobi Volume 2. So obviously
I remember that
Shinobi.
video game on the old Sega Master System, Shinobi.
Well, that was pretty cool back in the
It
day.
was, yeah.
So I've never seen any of the Shinobis. I know that was quite popular when Volume 1 came out. Another one called Through and Through and Senso. So yeah,
Mm.
some more obscure weirdness from the Radiance.
Yeah, they'll do that to us.
One day
Oh,
they'll actually put out something. I'll be like, I'm gonna get that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I have a couple. I think I have a Radiance movie. Maybe I don't know. I think I do. It is an Asian one. I think. Anyway, Vision is the next one. A bit more, a bit of a list here to announce. I actually might have mentioned some of this before, but they're continuing with their Bewitched boxes. So seasons five
Yeah.
and six of Bewitched. I know they've actually been popular, especially overseas. I have some overseas people who are keen on those because I don't know that they have them in the US. So yeah, this one is the one that excited me the most, and I'll 100% be grabbing. They're releasing Jim Henson's The Storyteller. I was obsessed by that show as a kid. I'm not sure if anyone knows about that, but that's John Hurt telling like grim fairy tales, and he had a little puppet dog, a Muppet dog next to him, and it was just my vibe. And they did have it on Amazon for a while, but I'm getting The Storyteller 100%. They're also releasing The Rat Race, the Tony Curtis, Debbie Reynolds film, which Jack Lemmon is also in that, I believe. I didn't like The Rat Race. It's not great. No, I might be thinking of The Great Race. Anyway, Vision are doing it. They're doing a re-release of Chappelle's Show. I have
Really?
yeah,
I
which I
didn't
found
see
weird.
that.
Yeah, there was, I don't know. I have the DVDs of Chappelle's Show, but that's a shock release, like an old label
Yeah.
in Australia. So they must have picked up the license for it and doing it. Hopefully, it's got the season 3 missed episodes that never went to air after he walked out. They're also releasing the Beauty and the Beast TV show, the '87 show with Ron
Oh
Perlman.
wow.
Yeah, I used
Yeah,
to watch that with
right.
my dad. Yeah,
With Hamilton.
yeah, Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman. Yeah, well, that's interesting. I reckon that'll sell pretty well. I think that was a bit of a hit in its day.
I think I'll be buying that for my mum for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
She loved that show.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember she would rave about it.
yeah. Right. Well, you should do that. That's a good present. They're also doing the Audie Murphy collection. Who's Audie Murphy was a Western actor back in the day. They're doing Preacher, the complete series. That's the Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg show. That's supposed to be pretty good. I'd probably be interested in that one day. Might be next year's bog off, to be honest. Sarah Silverman program, which was her short-lived TV show. If you know Sarah Silverman,
Yep.
stand up. The big one, they're doing Warrior on 4K, which
Yeah.
surprised Viavision or Imprint got that. Warrior is a great film, a really underseen film with Sam Worthington. Is it Sam Worthington? Tom Hardy, Nick Nolte?
No,
It's not Sam Worthington. That's the other one. Who's the other Australian guy?
Edgerton.
Edgerton.
Yeah.
Yes. I always mix them up, Worthington and Edgerton. Do it all the
They're
time.
both
Joel Edgerton.
they're
Yeah,
both awesome.
they are. Yeah. Definitely. They're also doing, they announced three 4Ks Malcolm X, the Denzel Washington, Midnight Cowboy, which I was excited about until I remembered I had the Blu-ray, so I'm not going to upgrade, and In the Heat of the Night, which is something that I think Criterion also announced recently as well.
It's in their last drop.
Yeah, Malcolm X would be a good one to pick up. Also doing HUD, the Paul Newman film. I'd be interested in that. I've been diving into a bit of Paul Newman lately. And then their Asia announcements, the Imprint Asia label, they're doing a movie called The Weird Man. I've never heard of any of these, by the way. The 14 Amazons and The Lady Hermit. I might do a bit more research on those as time ticks on to see what they're about. But that's all I have for Viavision and Imprint at this stage.
They're pretty good. Like they put out some really good 4K stuff, but the
Yeah.
price point for me is just too much.
Yeah, the price points are just, they're really off-putting. They need to do a standard 35, 40 release, even 45, rather than these fancy boxes that are 75. It's too much. And if Midnight Cowboy was a reasonable price, I probably would have upgraded it. But the fact that it's going to be 75, like Malcolm X, I'd be interested in, but I'm not spending that. Like it's quite frustrating. But I think it becomes a principal matter at the moment. Like I don't know. I'm just not into it. As I battle this head cold, I probably would have ranted more back in the day. What's your next one?
All right. So I'm gonna do some 88 films, which
Ooh,
88 films, I swear, like I said to you last night, have I been living under a rock? Have I missed something? Because I did a massive 88 films slate, which covered about 3 months worth in one show. And then after that, there wasn't much else going on. And I haven't seen many posts or anything like that, I even went on their website through Google. So I thought maybe I can dig out something else. So basically, this is what I've got, and they're titles that didn't sound familiar to me. So I'm hoping that I've never mentioned any. So we've got Her Vengeance, Detonation, Violent Riders, Annie Hall, Naked Sex, The French Collection version 6, The French Love, The French Collection '07. Sexually Yours, The French Collection '08, Sex Rider, Wet Highway, Tokyo Emmanuel, Sunset Warriors, or Heroes Shed No Tears, and Operation Condor. Now that's all very sexually driven, wet stuff. I think the only one out of all of that I may have mentioned was Operation Condor, but the other ones I don't think I'd seen actually pop up on their Instagram page or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know. I always said 88 films, drilling it every drop. It's massive.
Yeah.
Then they just went with the crickets. So
yeah, and more eclectic releases, like just random for us films. Yeah.
I think I have heard of Annie Hall though.
Oh, Annie Hall. Yeah, that's Woody. That's the Woody Allen movie, right? It won that movie. I actually, because I did a bit of a Woody Allen run, not completely, but yeah, one of the most overrated directors of all time. There's only one of his films I really love, and that was Midnight in Paris. But Annie Hall won Best Picture, and it's just not good. It just wasn't good. Surprised me when I watched it how much I didn't like it.
I can't say I'm a fan of Woody Allen. I mean, he's I don't know, he's a director that's got a style, and if you're not into it, you're not into it. But if you are, you are. So
it's more of his writing style than directing style, though. Like he plays the same person in his own movies all the time. Like he has a shtick, and that's what he sticks to. I'm just amazed at how popular he is.
Oh, that's it. I mean, his films they rate really well. It's not like they're shit. I don't know. I think you just got to be into that sort of style. Like,
Yeah.
I I don't have many of his movies. I don't even know if I own a Woody Allen film. I'm thinking of one. It's
Um,
got Kate Blanchett in it.
Blue Jasmine.
Blue Jasmine.
Yeah. Blue
That,
Jasmine's good. So that's the thing. He's capable of making really good films. It's just that his older stuff hasn't aged well. Is probably what I should say.
but
Just
yes, that's all for the 88. What have you got next on your?
I have Mad Men, which is two. Croc Dundee, we've spoken about that. Yeah, they're cut to shittery, and they can jam it up their buttholes. Keep it. Give us the uncut or fuck off. Give us both options at least. Like, so dumb.
It's
Anyway,
expensive for that
yeah, they
as
can lick a
well.
dick. Honestly, I just don't care. And the last one, which is a movie I like, I actually like this. It's not a good movie, but I really liked it. And they're Mad Men are releasing Flight Risk in Australia on Blu-ray. That's Mel Gibson directing Marky Mark. It was fun, man. I had fun. It wasn't bad. Like
Still
it's
haven't
actually
seen it yet.
it's actually got some good suspense and tension in it, and that's thanks to Mel's direction. The film itself as a thing, look, it's not great, but I didn't find it that terrible, and I think most people finding it terrible because of the Mel Gibson of it. But fuck you, like separate the art from the artist, stop being a puss. Flight Risk is okay, it's okay. Like I think it's worth a watch, and it'd probably be something I pick up again. I will pick up Flight Risk, but not at full price.
I mean, I was pretty keen to check it out when it was released, and
Mm,
at that time, I didn't even know Mel had directed it. I just knew
yeah.
that Wahlberg was the lead, and he's got no hair, and he looks weird.
Yeah, that's a choice. That was a choice of
So,
him having that George Costanza cut.
I mean, it's different for him.
Yeah,
He's always got hair.
it
So,
makes zero sense, even as the character he is. It just makes zero sense for him to look like that. Like he actually plays a good asshole though. Like he's a pretty menacing prick in that film. Like it's yeah. I reckon you'd like it. I reckon you'd like it. I liked it. And talking about it now is making me go, yeah, I'd be keen to watch it again. I know there's people out there who've seen it probably going, you're a fucking idiot, but it's just one of those films. It's not bad.
well, it sounds like a no-brainer, popcorner,
Yeah.
just kick back, go with
Yeah.
it. I mean, he doesn't do many villain roles.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, he was great in Fear. Obviously, he's an absolute bastard in The Departed, like head turning in that. But yeah, he's normally a good guy. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't play many villain roles.
No,
So
no.
it's a change of pace for him, really.
No, look, this film actually kind of, I think if you're into 90s action films, you'll really like this because it is, and that's the thing, that's why I reckon you'd like it, because it isn't trying to tell you something, it's not preaching to you, it's just a pulpy, this is it, this is what you're watching. We're not trying to tell you any messages and stories and themes and whatnot. It's just a dickhead on a plane. There's some corruption stuff going on. There's a detective on there who's trying to protect everything, and obviously they're transporting a criminal in this plane from Alaska to somewhere. But yeah, man, you'll have a good time. It's just a good time movie. Yeah, I liked it well enough. Have you got another label left?
Yeah, so we were very fortunate enough for this episode. Severin got on board and decided
Mm,
to drop overnight,
I did see. Yeah.
which was very cool because I checked their site yesterday and there was nothing to be had. So basically, Severin's dropping The Odd Job, The Ghost of Peter Sellers,
Mm,
Negatives, and you can actually get those three it's called the Medak bundle.
yes.
So that's one thing. And we were talking about Lamberto Bava earlier, that I'd come back to that dude. So there's a high tension box set, which is the Lamberto Bava collection, which has The Prince of Terror, The Man Who Wouldn't Die, School of Fear, Eyewitness. I don't think to be confused with Eyewitness that had Sigourney Weaver in it. I think this is different.
Okay.
And a compilation CD could be like soundtrack stuff or whatnot. But yeah, so once
Interesting.
again, Severin just dropping some really obscure stuff, and that's what they're good at.
Yeah, well, you seem to have those labels on your list. I have like the mainstream ones. I don't think we worked it out that way, but your labels always release some bullshit, right? Like
I
just
appreciate it.
no, it's not your fault. But you have like the weirder release movies, like stuff we haven't heard of. It's weird. I don't know. It didn't. That was a complete
Yeah.
accident. It worked out that way. Well, I
Well,
have one more label, and I can't remember where. I have BFI, and I don't know whether we've talked about this. And their online store has been offline for a good week or two now because I keep going into it, and it's not there. But human traffic. Did we talk about that last episode?
I did. I think
Didn't
that
we?
dropped after the
Okay,
episode.
okay. Well, I know we have spoken about it, but yeah, human traffic is like this. I own it, and I remember watching it and really liking it. I have a DVD of it, but they're doing a 4K. It's like this. It's like a coming of age story based around like the EDM music, right? Like it's pretty trippy. I still have the CD soundtrack in my dark cupboard, sitting in there with all my Formula One books and stuff. I do have a dark cupboard full of the few CDs I was able to bring with me, which was mostly my soundtrack ones, actually. And another one called Women in Love, which I've noted it, and I can't remember why, because it has something going on. Why did I note that down? Is that the 1969 movie or 2011 Kinnear movie? I don't know. Doesn't matter. There's a few different movies called Women in Love. I don't know which one it is, and that was worth mentioning. Anyway, that's our labels done and dusted. What are we on to next, man? Am I just talking about what's coming now for Australia?
I think so. I think
My
you got
brain is
some
not
juicy
working.
nuggets up your
I
sleeve.
do. I absolutely do. So, as has been spoken about, like if you are on the JB channel and or the follow the Curbside Collections page, I posted a big list of Blu-rays coming for July, and that is because in July, JB Hi-Fi and All Interactive Distribution have a bit of a deal where they're doing an 80s promotion. So a lot of old 80s movies on Blu are being re-released on Blu-ray. They are Fatal Attraction. Some of these have 4Ks too, by the way, but it's okay. So it's Fatal Attraction, Ordinary People, Reds, 16 Candles, The Presido, Born on the 4th of July, which I'm excited about. Parenthood, I'm excited about. Good movie. American Gigolo, never seen, want to see it. Memoirs of a Geisha, definitely want to see that. Don't own it. Tootsie, Uncle Buck, Videodrome, Naked Gun, Weird Science, and Trading Places. So that's part of the 80s promotion on Blu-rays. So some good titles in there. Do you agree? I know.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of those haven't even seen the light of day in Australia, maybe ever, like on
No, I
Blu-ray
don't think
anyway.
no, I don't think all of them have, that's for sure. So moving into July, I've spoken about some of these, but I'll go through them again. Earthquake, which has been announced overseas, that's coming to Australia. 48 Hours is getting 4K. Smoke and Aces. Again, I'm probably repeating stuff I mentioned last episode, but I'll go through this again to lead into the next part. Rope, the Fallout TV show for season 1 on 4K. We're getting that here as well, which is great. I was surprised we would get that here. The Sean Connery collection is also coming July. The Minecraft movie Nacho Libre, The Monkey, Alto Nights, the new De Niro film, and The Terminator is getting that standard release, which I spoke about before. We're getting Clueless, The Third Man. Trading Places on 4K is also coming on the Blu-ray. Zodiac, we're finally getting Zodiac in Australia on 4K. That's pretty damn cool. Novocaine, the recent Jack Quaid movie, which I quite like. Novocaine, it's okay. Terms of Endearment is getting one, an Oscar winner from the 80s. Sweeney Todd, the Johnny Depp film, Tim Burton musical. 48 Hours, also getting, I've already mentioned that, haven't I? Drop, which is the recent thriller. I saw that at the cinema. Looney Tunes, The Day the Earth Blew Up is also coming. And Dogman, which is another recent hit, was a family cartoon film. July 16, we're getting Sinners, which is the one I talked about earlier in the show. Best film of the year so far. And Death of a Unicorn, which I didn't mind. Death of a Unicorn, Jenna Ortega, Paul Rudd film. Not too bad, actually. Not spectacular, but not bad. We're also getting The Correspondent, which I think is a recent Australian movie with Richard Roxburgh in it, I think. And also the Steelbook of Jaws, which is coming with 3 discs, brand new production of a 90-minute documentary on that film as well, which I've spoken about. August, again, might be repeating myself a bit here, but it's a good reminder. The Graduate, The Lion in Winter, The Saint, which is the Val Kilmer Saint. That'll be interesting. Sunset Boulevard, bring that on. Saw, I've already mentioned Saw X is getting one in August. More Alfred Hitchcock films, Topaz and Frenzy, the 75th anniversary of Harvey, the Jimmy Stewart movie. I'm pumped to get that. And Wayne's World in August, also getting The Doors and some newer ones to talk about. The Ghost in the Darkness, which is Val Kilmer / Michael Douglas film. Super keen to see that again. The
Mm.
40-Year-Old Virgin, we're getting on 4K.
Oh wow.
We're getting Aaron Brockovich, Better Off Dead, which has been announced before, but we're getting out in Australia, the John Cusack movie. We're also getting Casper, the Friendly Ghost from the 90s, the Christina Ricci film. I've mentioned before we're getting American Pie unrated on 4K. We're getting Landman, the TV show, and The Boys season 4. That's coming as well. Now, okay. In our last show, I spoke about some we do our end of show segment, what's due for 4K. I get it right again. I just get it right again. I spoke about Monty Python films. We need more Monty Python. I only did the Meaning of Life. We're getting the Holy Grails, a steelbook of that on 4K. Lay it on me, right? We're also getting a re-release of Scott Pilgrim, but there's other ones coming. September-ish, we'll also be getting the Mission Impossible films. I believe that the rumor is that's coming in a 2-pack with Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning in 2, but obviously we'll get that as a steelbook come around September. Also toying with the idea, the rumors we might be getting Clue in Australia on 4K and
Wow.
and Charlize Theron in Aeon Flux. We may or may not be getting that. That's iffy at the moment, but I reckon that could do pretty well, to be honest. The Black Phone is getting a 4K release.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Red Sun, The Graduate, and Air America are getting 4K releases around October, November. Other movies I mentioned, sorry, I'll say this one first. Casino, we're getting in 4K. The Pride and Prejudice from 2005. And the 3 big ones I literally announced or literally requested on last episode, the Steven Spielberg trio, AI, Minority Report, and Catch Me If You Can, will all be getting 4Ks just in time for Christmas. Fucking epic, right? All 3 of those, just inject them into my veins. AI is a really underrated Steven Spielberg film. AI is fantastic. Minority Report, we already know about, and Catch Me If You Can. I mean, that's a modern day classic at this point. Regarding the Scream and Shout stuff, there's still stuff going on behind the scenes to make that final, but it is final, just waiting on I's to be dotted and T's to be crossed. But September, we are getting Hard Boiled and City on Fire. That's the first 2 films in that Golden Princess catalogue of 56 films, which on the socials recently it was announced that Arrow will also have access to that library for the UK, but AID are doing it for Australia. They will also, as I've mentioned before, we're getting Dog Soldiers, Labyrinth, and Dark Crystal. How we get those is still being decided, I assume, the packaging on that, but they are still planned to be released. I should have, hopefully by next episode at least, I'll have a bit more information on the Scream and Shout Factory releases that are coming our way. But we should expect September to get Hard Boiled and City on Fire at least. Yeah, so some big announcements there. Talk at me, man. What have we got?
Wow, pretty massive, really. Just there's a lot of titles in there that I don't think I've heard of any 4K releases out like anywhere else, like 40-Year-Old Version.
Yeah.
Erin Brockovich, I haven't heard 4Ks of them anywhere.
No.
So that's very, very cool for Australia.
Yeah.
I think, to know that in September, Hard Boiled, City on Fire,
Yeah.
I think
Epic.
they'll be snapped up pretty quick.
I think they'll sell pretty well, to be honest. Absolutely.
I did read on
It's just such great
somewhere
news
that,
for us Australian
mean-
collectors that we don't have to import that stuff. It's just great.
That Arrow thing, with they're doing the UK part for all those films. I did read about that yesterday. I thought that's really cool too. So it's sort of like it's almost like a triangle now. Like, you have like UK, US, and Australia.
Yeah.
So if we can all get these things in those points of the triangle,
Yeah.
that's a no-brainer that, everyone's going to get a bit of everything, and we can just swap amongst ourselves if we have to. Like, we don't have to keep importing stuff all the time and making it super expensive.
Absolutely. I did want to also just, because I forgot to mention that Back to the Future steelbooks are coming in October as well. And 40 years since Back to the Future. But yeah, I agree. What I'm more interested in with this Golden Princess catalog and this is how it's going to be packaged in Australia.
Yeah.
Because Arrow's going to do something special, obviously, as Shout and Scream will. But I hope they're working hard behind the scenes to get some collector style packaging here. Obviously, that's going to mean price is not going
Oh,
to be, price is going to be up there
no
for
doubt.
that. But yeah, I'm really keen to see how that comes about. Yeah, pretty exciting times, to be honest.
Well,
Yeah,
considering some of those films have never seen anything past DVD,
yeah, yeah,
this is it's a big deal to go from DVD to 4K.
yeah.
So you would hope that it's going to be worth whatever they're charging.
Yeah, I would hope so for sure. Like it'd be, I don't know, it's just going to be interesting to see how it comes here because what I would want, I wouldn't want people to hold off buying them in Australia and then because they like the Arrow packaging better. Obviously we want them to be brought by Australians in Australia so we can keep getting these type of things. So we can keep getting nice things, right? That's what we want. If they're sold here, then they'll keep selling them here, right?
Well, that's it. You've got to have people wanting to buy it. Or,
Mm,
why would you bother going to all the lengths of this amazing packaging and it's just going to sit there in a box and it's not going to
yeah,
sell? I mean, I have
yeah,
no doubt they will sell, but I think as always, Australia's been way behind the eight ball
definitely.
for that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
For a long time, we've just had regular cases, no slips,
yeah,
no fancy
yeah,
boxes, and overseas brings out something that's like far out. That
yeah.
just trumps anything that I could buy here. But it all comes down back to what you can afford. And
Correct.
honestly, some of
Yep.
those overseas releases are that highly priced. It's like it's not even
Yeah,
thought to consider.
if you're paying 50 or $60, look, it's hard work. Like if you can pay 40, cool, bring it on. Yeah, we just want nice, pretty artwork though too, right? With those because they're special titles. They're not studio catalog releases, are they? So we want something nice to go with it. I would imagine. Yeah.
You'd think like this Spielberg thing, like you got Catch Me If You Can,
So,
Minority Report.
mm,
If that came out in a spiffy,
in,
collector's box, that would make
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
And be
yeah,
worth paying, $100+ for because first time they've ever been released out of those three, like
yeah.
Minority Report, I reckon is gonna need the most work for the 4K. I mean that film has loads of detail in it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Janusz Kaminski was the DP on that, and it does have a very different look. It's kind of a cloudy, not cloudy. Is that the look? Is that the word I'm looking for? But it does have a different look. That
Hmm,
film, like it is a noir type of film. So, yeah, that would look great in 4K. Catch Me If You Can would too, because it's so bright and sunny all
absolutely.
the time. That would
Oh,
look
absolutely.
great. And I think, kind of speaks for itself because that's a darker film. So
Hmm,
you imagine the blacks in that especially when
yeah.
he. Oh, mate, I'm super keen for those. Yeah, yeah, exciting times. Okay, so have you got your pile ready? We're nearing the end.
I do.
What's due for 4K in your opinion? What do we have?
Well, I'm not very lucky these days. Adam's the philosopher of the
It seems to be working
4K.
out that way, doesn't it? It's weird.
So, yeah, I just thought I'll have a browse through the old collection and pull out some titles that, I don't know, a bit obscure. The Recruit.
Oh,
Seen
Pacino.
that?
I've never
Yeah,
seen that. No, but I know of it obviously, but never seen it.
yeah, that's a pretty old Oz release, that one.
Mm,
But yeah, I reckon that would look pretty cool in 4K. It's a bit not as popular as some of their other titles for those actors, but I reckon that would look pretty smick.
yeah, I won't argue. I agree. Actually, I need to before I announce mine, need to do some homework. Okay, I'm just finding it hard to pick what I want. There's a couple of these I'm not sure whether I've mentioned them before. I've mentioned them privately to some people, but anyway, first one I want is I'll just say Life is Beautiful, which is I've spoken about that film a lot. Like I love that film. It's the Roberto Benigni film from the 90s, World War II movie. There's only a DVD release of it, and it needs a 4K. I'd be all over it. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that or not.
I haven't, but you've
Mm.
spoken of it a lot in the time that we've been
Mm.
chatting.
Yeah, it's I have, and I'll do that. I'll just rave about stuff that I enjoy. Life and Beautiful is just, I know it's kind of a pretty special film to me, to be honest. I really love it. I probably won't say more than that. Number two for you.
I'm actually surprised this hasn't had one yet. The Specialist.
Yeah, that's Scream Shout Factory to me. Actually, The Specialist,
Yeah, absolutely.
or I don't know, Kino maybe as well. But yeah, Sylvester and Sharon. What a
I'd
combo.
say, because when this come out, I reckon it was VHS. There was an uncut version of this. I don't know
Ah,
if this is the version. It said it on the cover.
she get
Steamy uncut version,
yeah, she used to like getting them off back in the day, didn't she?
like
Sharon Stone.
The Getaway with Baldwin and
Mm,
Basinger. That was kind of like same deal. But
yeah.
I'm honestly surprised that has not had one yet, because that just seems like one they would have put out. Like you said, Assassins a couple episodes ago, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Same deal.
Yeah, it's yep, I agree. I think that would do pretty well. My next on my list is it is one of my favorite films of all time. It just has such a vibe. I'm not sure if you've ever seen Pleasantville. I've spoken about it on this show before, I'm sure.
Not not since it came out. Oh,
Okay.
long time ago. Yeah.
Such a great film. Like it's just I don't know. It's like this it's just a really deep film. It's Tobey Maguire, Reese Witherspoon, William H. Macy, who gives three of the best line readings of the same line within the matter of 2 minutes I've ever seen in any film in my life. You can actually see me talking about this film on the Wasteland Reviewer. If you just go on the YouTube and look for Wasteland Reviewer Pleasantville, you'll see me and Shane talking about this film and how much we love it. Yeah, it was a first time watch for him when I forced him to watch it. And yeah, and also, what's the guy's name? The guy from Dumb and Dumber? Daniels. Jeff Daniels is also in it too. So it's a big cast. It's a great film. I love Pleasantville. It just means a lot to me. So yeah, there's my first two
That would look
ticked
pretty
off.
good in 4K, like
Ah,
being
yeah.
black and white with,
Mm,
touches of color here and there.
yeah, yeah. They could really
Um,
make those colors pop, especially when the town changes to color.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, would look
absolutely.
amazing.
That Honestly, I'm surprised that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
But it will. It will
I'll
now, because
Yeah, well, now I've put it
it's
out. The universe is liking me lately with when it comes to this stuff. Not other stuff, but this stuff. Yeah, likes me.
next one I've got is Me, Myself, and Irene.
Oh, dude,
Um,
classic.
this is actually incredibly rare to
Yes,
be on Blu-ray.
yes.
I'm not gonna say I paid a lot for it. Okay, maybe I did.
Did you? How long ago? Did you get it
A
recently? Or?
while. I've had this a few years now. But yeah, this film is just hilarious. I mean, does it really need a 4K? Probably not, but
No.
it's a great film. And I'm surprised that, someone like, Shout would probably put out something like that. Maybe Kino.
Yeah, it feels like a Kino. 90s comedy is Kino at the moment. Yeah, Irene's great. It's so good. It's
It's
such a
some
funny
of
movie.
his funniest work, that just
Definitely.
his facial transformations and
Yeah.
just the works. Oh, I think I need to.
Yeah, yeah, it's fantastic. I watched it not that long ago. Like it's so good, so good. My next one, I think this has been rumored that it's coming. I'm not sure it's been announced, but Gravity is a no-brainer. Gravity needs a 4K.
Gravity.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. How is that? Imagine that on OLED because it's so dark and black. But Gravity is a tense fucking movie.
I'll be honest, I've never seen Gravity,
Oh,
but I am surprised a film like Gravity hasn't already had a 4K release. I
you've
mean,
never? Do you own Gravity?
no, I've never seen it. It slipped straight past me
You would,
when it come out. I
man.
know I'd enjoy it.
You would definitely like it.
I've
Yeah,
just
you
never
would.
seen it.
Man, okay. I still vividly remember the first time I watched that film. Like I was sitting back in my chair, my recliner, and by the end of the movie, I was sitting on the edge of it, like right close as tippy toes on the edge of the chair, like because it just draws you in. It's amazing. Yeah. What's your next one?
Well, this one, I don't know. I reckon it'd look pretty good. Limitless.
Yeah, Limitless. That's one of those movies it's kind of weird, but it's like In Time, in my opinion. It's in the same
Yeah,
genre of In Time in that it's
it's
sneakily good. It doesn't deserve to be as good as it probably is, or
no,
enjoyable, maybe.
it
Yeah.
doesn't. It's just like, I think it's got a certain look about it that would really pop out.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I said, within time, it would just come out, and there's a lot going on in the film. It's just a fun film. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
what could
Good
happen
concept.
if we did this and we could harness all that brain power?
Yeah. Yeah.
That almost comes down to like Lucy, when she
Yes.
she
Yeah.
starts getting all this brain power that she didn't know she could get,
Yeah.
and then she controls everything. It's
Yes.
a disturbing
It's
thought, but
cautionary tales.
yeah.
I don't
So
remember. I know I've seen Lucy, but I don't remember it very much.
it's pretty good. It's a good movie. Like it's in that vein of how far could we go if our brain power could be accessed like that. So
Well,
yeah.
yeah, I mean that's a myth anyway. The 10% thing is a load of bullshit, but we do have power that we haven't tapped into, that's for sure.
What have you got next, Adam?
Well, as usual, I'm going to cheat a little bit, but I want to see more Mel Brooks films come to 4K. We need
Oh
Young
yeah.
Frankenstein, Robin Hood Men in Tights, Spaceballs, High Anxiety. We need those films in 4K. The producers, I'm surprised they haven't happened. There's got to be rights issues to some stuff about why they haven't had 4Ks because they did it with Blazing Saddles. My theory is that maybe Blazing Saddles was a tester to see if it sold very well, which I'm sure it did. So I reckon if Blazing Saddles did well, they'll start doing more Mel Brooks films.
Well,
So
Spaceballs has got a 4K.
does it?
Yeah, Kino put that out originally
I did not know that.
a long, long time. I don't have it. Very, I wouldn't say it's hard to get. If you wanted a slipcover of it, it's harder to find. But definitely, I can't see why we couldn't get that here in
Yeah.
Australia one day. Maybe that would
But I
be
mean,
cool.
it still stands for his other films. Young Frankenstein and the producers would be great to get
Mm.
in 4K at least. Yeah, just give us more.
They went all out with the Blazing Saddles. Like
Yeah.
that box set that was a big deal. So
I haven't watched the 4K of it yet. I'm assuming it's pretty good though.
I reckon it would be for
Yeah.
sure.
What are you up to? You're up to your fourth one?
This is my last.
Oh, is it?
Now this is a classic. Big fan.
Yeah.
The Old People versus Flint.
Yeah, good call. I watched this not too long ago, actually.
Yeah, I've had this for a while. Like
That
this is
Blu-ray
an
would be rare as shit too.
Umbrella release.
Oh, really?
And I remember seeing that at the cinema in the 90s, and it was I've still got the ticket stub somewhere. Just absolutely mind-blowing film. Like
Yeah.
his like Harrelson's performance is just
Yeah. Oscar
wow.
nominated. Deserved his nomination for that.
Yeah, I reckon that would be pretty sick in 4K. There's a lot of good colors they could rip out of that and just enhance in
Yeah.
very different ways. But yeah, that's my top five for this episode.
That's a good choice. My last one, I'm going to say something else that probably is in the works, but I've not heard of it. Gangs of New York. I don't know why that doesn't have a 4K. That's weird, right?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I I got a Blu-ray that Umbrella put out last. I haven't watched it yet, just because it's a long movie. So,
Pretty sure I have a Blu-ray.
but yes, how that hasn't had a 4K is
It's
beyond me.
weird. It's actually weird.
It is. It's weird. Is anyone out there listening?
I don't even own Gangs of New York, so there you go. Someone must be because we're getting some of them. But yeah, Gangs of New York is a no-brainer, right? Like it's
I
zero
mean,
sense.
if There Will Be Blood can get a 4K, why can't Gangs of New York?
Hang on, is There Will Be Blood got a 4K?
Yeah, I've heard that's coming out.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not out, but
No, well, No Country for Old Men got it, so
exactly.
that's its twin. There Will Be Blood and No Country are twins. So do you know the story about those two movies?
Not really. No.
You've seen No Country for Old Men, right?
Yeah, I've seen both of them. I've got both
Yeah.
of them. So
So they were actually filmed at the exact same time, on opposite hills from each other, right?
yeah, right.
So
Wow.
there's a scene in No Country for Old Men where Josh Brolin, I think it's the next day after he's collected the money, you'll see behind him in the distance smoke, black smoke pouring into the sky in No Country for Old Men. That's actually the scene from There Will Be Blood when the oil rig goes on fire that they were filming at the same
Oh
time.
wow.
Yeah, it's insane. Like those two movies are both fucking incredible, filmed at the same time. They actually appear in each other's films. Insane. Like what a something was in the water around that area where they were making those films because they're both bangers. Like
They're classic films. Like
Yeah.
I've seen There Will Be Blood once.
Okay,
It's just such an intense film. Like
it's great, man.
it's not one I
Yeah.
would watch all the time, but
Yeah, I
Daniel
could put that on
Day-Lewis
today.
is just whew, wow.
Ah, he deserved his Oscar, and look, he is one of the best of all time for sure. But we've spoken about so many movies today that I've gone, I should watch that later. I should watch that today, and I'll probably just come home and watch something shit. Anyway, but yeah, that's 5. That's all 5. Let us know
Yeah.
in the comments, not the comments, but let us know on our Instagram pages. You can catch Shane at Blue Relic Hunter on Instagram, and obviously me at KerbSide_collections. Let us know in the DMs of any 4Ks you'd like to see coming, and we might talk about them on the show.
For sure.
Yeah, there's. I'm not sure there was anything else I had to talk about. To be honest, is there anything else you want to touch on?
I don't think so. I think that's about it. Yeah. I think we've covered a lot.
We have. We've definitely covered a lot. Okay, so we'll wrap it up. So KerbSide Collections is a part of the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. Hit them up on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you get your podcasts. And yeah, there's lots of a big variety of shows on the network that you could tune into. And again, shout out, thanks to Mike for running that for us and doing a great job and keeping us all supported and
Absolutely.
being able to get these shows out to you guys. Until next time,
Catch you later.
bye.